Okay, so like I said, I am so excited for this call. Our guest speaker tonight is Lauren Condit. Um, I couldn't even, at first I couldn't find her on Instagram. I was like, it's not your last name. But I know that before she started coaching that her brand and her social media was more fashion, correct? Like more of like a fashion blogger. She's going to tell you all about it. But girl has a crazy following, two-star diamond. Her pictures are beautiful. And I'm just so excited for her to dive more into the topic that she has to share with you guys today. So without further ado, Lauren, take it away.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me. I am seriously so excited. Nothing makes me or gets me more fired up than talking about the business and sharing anything that I know to help others, because as we all know, that is literally how our business grows, right? It's a do and then learn business. We are here to help each other at all times, and like that's my favorite thing about this community. So if I can, let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. But really quickly, my name's Lauren. Thanks for the intro, Sarah. And yes, I am from California. I am a city girl just south of San Francisco Bay Area, about 45 minutes, and I fell in love with a cowboy. So now we live in the country, and we have a cattle dog, and we have horses and all this stuff. So it's all part of the story, all part of the branding, and all part of what I'm going to talk about today. I'm really going to focus today on building and creating content. So how do you create content? How do you create new content that's exciting and that's interesting to your followers and your readers and all of that? So I'm going to see if I can share my screen. Bear with me on this situation. Start share. Oh, you know what? Actually, Sarah, I think you might have to enable sorry, I don't even know how to do that myself. But thank you for doing that.
I just made you the host, so you should be able to do it.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so first I am just going to share a little bit about me and my story. And here we go. Okay, can you guys see that okay? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so anyway, so now we live 45 minutes above Santa Barbara, which is awesome and wonderful and beautiful and super fun. So, okay, so in 2013, so my entire life, my entire career of everything, I wanted to be a footwear designer. So my parents were like, okay, we'll send you to design school as long as you go to college first. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty fair deal. So I went to four-year college at the small Catholic college called Santa Clara University in California. And after that, I was like, okay, mom and dad, guess what? I still want to go to design school. So like design, fashion, like all that stuff has always been like part of me, part of my DNA, which is also part of my story, and which we'll talk about later, like finding your DNA, like who are you? So I went to a 2-year design program, the only design school in the entire country. It's 10 students every single year, got accepted. It was in LA, which was a whole experience and horrible. LA is just a toxic place. And so anyway, moved to LA for 2 years, and I literally moved home to the Bay Area on like a Saturday, I think, and started work on a Monday and walked in and met my husband. So kind of funny story. So anyway, so I married a cowboy. His name's Austin. He's the best thing in the world. And I met him at my corporate job. So had no intention of, you just never know when that's going to happen. Okay. So meanwhile, 2014 comes and I'm like, I see all these girls doing this fashion blog situation. Like I could totally do that. Like I'm absolutely going to quit my job and just be this blogger and all this stuff. So I learned a couple of really important things along the way. Okay, I'm gonna go back. So basically what I learned was that it's so much work to be a blogger, first of all, and there's always like things coming in and out, and it was just a lot. But it was great. But I learned from that experience that like on the weekends, because I was working full time and traveling. So every 6 months I would go to China, Portugal, Spain, and Mexico for work. So like I would design shoes. I worked for a company called Ariat. It's Ariat cowboy boots. I don't know if anyone's familiar, but my husband still works for them. So he's been with them for 12 years. And so anyway, so that's why these boot pictures are here. So started the fashion blog on the side, but it taught me from the beginning beginning that creating content actually is so much more efficient when you batch work, when you batch content, when you batch work. So when you sit down to write like 2 blog posts, 3 blog posts at a time, when you sit down or you go and you take multiple photos at a time versus like trying to like figure it out the day of, which is a really good lesson that I now implement and use in my business now. So what happened was I started this blog, and it was fine. It was fun. But the problem was I wasn't really connecting with my audience, and I didn't really know that how to find like a bigger, greater community. So the most ironic thing was I guess I should say, so my coach, Nicole, she lives in Michigan. She randomly reached out to me, okay, cold market invite, March 2018. And she goes, hi, would you like to do this 3-week boot camp with me? And I'm like, no, like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? Why? Like, I don't even know you. Like, no, like, absolutely not. But of course, like, I was unhappy with my body, right? I had tried every single diet. I had done Weight Watchers. I had done keto. I had done all these yo-yo diets that were so not sustainable. And it was so frustrated. So meanwhile, and this is a great, like how it all happens. Of course, when somebody reaches out to you, then you start following them, then you start creeping on their stories every day. And one day, in May, of the same year, 2018, she was making spaghetti and meatballs for her boys. And I don't know if you guys know Nicole Gorby, but she has abs. Okay. And I was like, oh, damn girl, like you're eating spaghetti and you have abs. Like, okay, I need to do what you're doing. So I messaged her that night and I was like, hi, like, can I eat spaghetti and get abs too? Like, and that was kind of the start of this all. So because I was already comfortable on social media and on Instagram stories and things like that, I just decided to start sharing day one. So like literally day one, I was like, okay, you guys, like I'm thinking about doing this 3-week boot camp. Like, does anybody want to do this with me? And what I learned from that experience was that, you guys, people and new coaches especially, like, you don't need results before you start coaching. You don't need results to bring people along with you. Like, this is literally about, like, you want to do something for you because you're making a change. Like, who else wants to do something for themselves? That's the power of this. It's like the excitement of wanting to do things together and with people and to help people and do it as like a unit, like we're in this together, right? So anyway, I decided to share my results from my 3 weeks on my blog. And the most interesting thing happened, okay? So like I would get, I don't even know how many views, I forget how many views I would get like per day on my blog, but as soon as this post hit, triple the amount of views on this post than my normal post. And granted, you guys, I posted Monday through Friday on Instagram twice a day, like religiously, like every single day I had a new fashion piece, new fashion content, freaking show half my body there and my little, what I ate in a day with like the shittiest, excuse my language, like crappiest pictures of food, right? And it tripled in views. And I was like, okay, we're on to something here. Like, this is special. Like, people want to know what I'm doing, right? So then I kind of found like the value in like sharing my story from the beginning. So anyway, so my 6 weeks results were great. I did 21 Day Fix and I did 21 Day Fix Extreme, like back to back. And then I was really having to rebrand, which was extremely, extremely difficult because you guys, I literally had been sharing fashion for like at that point, however many years. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, I'm just going to start sharing like fitness now, so I really had to figure out the rebranding side of things. And so I just kind of started doing that slowly but it was kind of rough. So, but that's also a great thing too. Like, we're always changing, right? We're always evolving. Like, our brand's always going to be changing. Like, whether we move, whether, we get to have something new come into our lives, and that's like a different story. Like, I'm currently pregnant. Like, that's been a story, So anyway, so I started incorporating like fitness and food and trying to make that part of my brand. So the thing, you guys, is that I never stopped sharing. So, and it's not like glamorous, like that's me. Like, I'm a huge golfer and my husband and I love to golf. And so like, I like those like hard boiled eggs, but like I shared, right? Like, I'm constantly sharing on stories, constantly like showing before and afters of me, my team on stories. And then because I was already taking professional photos for my blog, I decided to like start incorporating some of those. Now, obviously that's not always going to be like a practical solution, and we're going to talk about that next. but I started kind of transitioning slowly and people responded. But so this first photo is actually hysterical. So my mom, when I was living in the Bay Area, she would take my photos. So she got me this pop-up tent because on the weekends we would literally go and change like 6 different outfits so we could take photos from my blog. So I could go home on Sunday, get them all edited and ready to go and like ready to get posted. And like, that's when I started learning about batching content, right? And like the power of efficiency when you're creating a brand on Instagram. So one way to create content is ask people for help. So like I had to ask my mom, right? Now Austin, it's like the Instagram husband thing. It's like, it's a whole new level, you know, like it is what it is. Like you have to ask for help. Like when we moved down here, I had my mother-in-law take my photos until I found a photographer. Like you just have to ask for help. Like you don't have to do it all on your own. And I think there's something really powerful about like saying, look, I need help because I want to do this and I want to be better. The other thing is, you guys, be your own photographer. Like I send all my emeralds a ring light, and they're so, like this morning, like the photo that I posted today, I recreated a photo that I had from a photo shoot like a year and a half ago. I put on the exact same outfit and went in my backyard with my ring light when Austin was golfing this morning and literally took a photo and then edited it to be similar, and bada bing. Like, you know, so anyway, so ring light's amazing. And then I love doing photo shoots for like retreats or special occasions. I try to do them at least like twice a year so I can have that content. And when you go, like different color outfits, different color, like plan it out so you can get as much content as you can. So now I want to talk about, this is the photo I took this morning. So like this was a professional photo and this is me 30 weeks pregnant today. Like, oof, but but that's the point. Like this was in my backyard and like you just make it work, right? So that's the ring light, and then I just tried to edit it as most similarly as possible. So one of the best tools and tricks that I learned recently, actually in the last 6 months, is auditing your own feed. So what I mean by that is, like I would say once a week, like every Thursday, I ask my team to do this. So basically I say, take a screenshot of your current feeds. This is literally my current feed today. And tell me what pictures are fitness related, what pictures are entertainment, and what pictures are coaching. So I also started this new thing for June where the first time I'm like planning out my month way more specifically. So for the first 2 weeks of June, I was really pushing boot camps hard. Now that my boot camp starts tomorrow, I'm all coaching all the time now, which is really like a different flip for me. And I haven't been that organized in the past, so I'm excited to see. So as you can see, I've only shared 2 coaching photos within the last week, or yeah, in the last week. So that's like low for me. But this is a great thing to do for yourself because it's a really easy to share entertainment photos. And it's not as easy to share coaching, and not as easy sometimes. Well, fitness is easier with selfies and things like that. So this is where I kind of want you guys to take a minute and take your notebooks and kind of like audit yourself. Okay. So what makes you you, right? So even in fitness, what do you like to share? What do you want to share? So for me, like it's nutrition, but it's in a certain way. Like I prefer to have myself in every single photo because the photos generate better when the picture is of you, because people are following you. If they see some random food, like they don't know if that's you. They don't know if that's somebody else. That's my opinion. But you can test it out for yourself. But for me, like I have to have my photo on my face or my whatever in the photo. Okay. So, then also like for fitness. Okay. So that could be, an IGTV of your workout. That could be like, you know, a recipe share that you make in IGTV, or you like, you're in your kitchen with a picture of your food, right? So entertainment purposes, like what makes you you. Okay, so like take a second right now, literally, and write this down. So for me, that's cowboy life, right? California. I have this super specific ranch dog. I'm pregnant. Like we had an interesting fertility journey and where I lost my period after the being on the pill for 12 months, and acupuncture got it back. So like now I have all this like content about acupuncture that I'm sharing and relating to women, not about fitness, not about beach body, but about acupuncture and infertility, right? So it's like totally different. And I also like, I'm obsessed with wine. So like in a lot of my photos, I'm like, okay, 10 more weeks so I can have a glass of wine, you know? So like, what makes you you? So I'm gonna take a sip of water while you guys finish your lists. And also for me, like it was hardest talking about coaching, you know, like why do you coach? Like that's kind of tough to answer for especially new coaches, because they're like, well, I don't know, like accountability, but that's a huge thing. Like there are so many people out there that say to me and say to all of us coaches, well, you know, it's just really hard because I never stick with anything. Well, maybe grab a friend, coach them, do it together, right? Hold yourself accountable. That's exactly how I started. You know, that first day I went on my Instagram stories, I had somebody who wanted to do it with me. And I signed up as a customer. And Nicole was like, you should really switch to a coach. I'm like, no, dude, I've done MLMs. Like, I'm not interested. Like, this is just so not for me. You know, here I am, full-time coaching. Cheers, you know? Crazy. Okay, but that's the point. You never know. You never know who's going to say yes to you. Like, never be afraid to invite. Never be afraid to share your heart. Never be afraid to share you. Like my mom like cringes that I share my body on here. I'm like, my body, you know, like it's just a body. Like it's just me. It is what it is. Like we all have one. But you got to share you. You got to like, you know, when you're sharing your story, like, you know, what makes you you? Like, where do you live? What do you like to do? And like that should be what your Instagram is, right? Okay, and the other thing too that sometimes it's harder to talk about is like financial parts of coaching. So for me, like this right here, me with holding the screen smoothie with a ladder in the background, like we just decided to install heating and AC because we didn't have it. And we just also decided to renovate an office for me in our house because we're expecting obviously. And so I'm going to be like inside with our daughter. And right now I'm like outside in the separate office at our house. So anyway, so long story short, like I talked about that. Like I'm so thankful for coaching because we couldn't have done this renovation previously. You know, like it just would have been like an extra added stress on my husband with his job. And now it's like, no big deal. Like, oh, that's going to cost an extra $300. It's fine. You know, it's like, that's a way that you can talk about coaching. Like, you know, even when you like come home and people are like, oh yeah, share that it filled up your gas tank. Okay, like I get that, but like share like your huge grocery haul behind you and set up your ring light and take a photo. Like that's content that's valuable because that's something that's so relatable, you know, that people are like, oh shoot, like you paid for like all those groceries, you know, like without even thinking about it, like that's so real. Okay, the other thing, you guys, is that it's not just about what you're saying in the photo, but it's the photo itself. Okay. So like I would never have posted these two selfies, excuse me, back to back. Not going to happen. No way. Heck no. Like, no, you don't do like for me, like I'm psycho, but like, I'm not going to do two selfies back to back. I'm also not going to do two side by sides back to back. Like it has to be spread out. So it's not just about the type of content that you're putting out there, but the style of photo. So how many selfies are next to each other, right? Is it a professional photo, like for 6 photos because you like went to a photo shoot and then all of a sudden your feed's back to like normal? Like no, like intersperse them, like have them like create some balance. And then don't be afraid to reuse professional photos, because when you are going out to people every single day and engaging with them before they come to your profile, before you invite them, right? The process, people don't know that you've already used that photo. And the people that are there supporting you, there's a different message that you're sharing with that photo, and nobody cares. They're there to support you. They love you. They want to see you succeed. So I'm not saying share the same photo every 12th slide, but like if it's been 4 months and you want to share the photo again, be like, oh, but I just shared that. Who cares? If it's a professional photo, share it again. There's different eyes on your feed all the time, especially with hashtags and, you know, the new people coming. So don't even stress out about that. And then the other thing is like workout clothes versus regular. Like think about that too, right? Like I'm not wearing back-to-back colors in my workout clothes here on purpose. Okay. It's like, it might take a little extra planning when you're curating your feed, but like, it is what it is. Like, this is our job to like brand ourselves, right? To like build content, to create, you know, a story within our feed. So, my biggest thing, outside. Get outside, you guys. Please stop taking photos inside that are dark and awful. Like, get outside. Like, whether you have to get up and use the morning light, stockpile on the weekends or whatever, get outside. You know, like, the photos are so much better. And the photos that are inside, I really try to lighten them up so they match my feed. But highly recommend taking your ring light outside. For editing, I am not a huge filter person. I use this weird Japanese app called Me Too. I wrote it down here on the bottom. And then sometimes I use Lightroom. But it's like a very light, like bright and white thing, but it's very subtle. So my point is, for me, I take photos in natural light primarily. And then from there, when I add like this tiny filter, or like update the exposure or change the shadows a little bit or change the saturation, like, it's not this big drastic change, because the photos themselves, even though if it's a selfie in this mirror or it's like this professional photo with my husband and our horse, like, the photos still look like they would go together because the type of photo. So that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't think about, but it's really important when you are putting this all together. I also plan all my posts out for the week. So I use something called later.com. And what you can do, and I can actually show this to you guys in a second if that's helpful, but I literally will like put my photos into later.com, and then I'll drag them for the week. And then you can see, you can legit plan your feed. So like, I can see, so like, if this was next to this and I didn't like that, then you can drag and drop and then plan your feed a little bit easier that way. And another thing before I wrap up is that a lot of my coaches they're not full-time and they need more organization. So what I do with them is I say, okay, like, go back to this list of what makes you you. Okay. Write that down. And then literally we're going to plan this out, like, legit. So like, Mondays is your child. Okay. A post with your kid. Tuesday is like, you're a teacher and your teacher life. Wednesday is coaching. Thursday is fitness. Friday is nutrition, Saturday is this, and da-da-da. Like, and then they have a structured plan. For me, like, I kind of fly by a little bit more, but if you are somebody who needs that like intense structure, create that for yourself. Go to Google, get a June calendar, and for the last 2 weeks, like, literally write in, based on the topics that you wrote down today, what you're going to post what day. Because let me tell you what, I hate the feeling when you're like, shit, I didn't post today. Like, I gotta post. What am I gonna post? Okay, so what should I do? Like, that's not gonna create, like, all that like nervous energy. That's not creating something that people want to read. Okay, plan ahead. And also, the other thing too, I use the notes section in my phone 50 billion times a day. Okay, I'm randomly showering, I'm reading my morning reading, I'm working out, something's happening, and I'm like, ooh, that's a good idea. Like, oh, that I can relate, someone could relate to that. Okay, so then all I do is go to my notes, and I don't say, like, I'm not necessarily writing the whole post. All I'm saying is, whatever, like, I read this book that changed my life. It's called The Tao of Pooh. So like, and it's about Taoism, which is basically about like, everything in your life happens the way it should. And that relates to my fertility story because my acupuncture gave it to me. Long story short, but like, I would write something like very specific that came to my mind to share about that in my notes. Just jot it down, because then you have it. And a lot of times I don't feel like writing captions. It's not that fun for me. I have to be in the mood. So that's why when I use Later, are you guys familiar with Later? Okay, maybe here, I'll just go really quickly. Let's see if I can get in. It's like, I update your password a million times. I'm like, no, thank you. Let's see. Oh, I forgot my chat. And I have been playing this week's posts out yet, but it's awesome because I'll show you where you can like take notes in a specific photo. Okay. So this is what my Later looks like. So like today I planned this to go at 11:30, and like you can see my last week, all planned out. So I also post at the same time every single day, except for the weekends. But I like to post at 5. It just works better for me. And I was doing some experimenting in the last couple of weeks, and 5 o'clock, and I'm on Pacific time, but 5 o'clock is just a much easier time for me to post. For my readership is there at 5, like after work hours, and they also know to expect that. And I think that's really cool and important to recognize that, like, once people know that you're going to post at a certain time, then they go to your feed because they want to check. So anyway, okay, so this is later. This is what it looks like. So you can like activate your, I'm going to turn Facebook off for a second, but you can like literally click Pinterest, click Facebook, Twitter if you wanted to. Like today, so I had these 2 scheduled on Facebook and Instagram instead of just Instagram. Sometimes it just kind of depends. Okay, so then you can see like I have a mix of random photos here that like whatever I was thinking about, so I pulled them over here. So like for tomorrow, okay, so we'll just go down to here, and this is my dog, that's my smoothie. I took this photo last week. So you guys, I took this photo like last Monday, okay, but I haven't posted it yet, right? Like you can stockpile photos. You don't have to take a photo, post right now. Like that is not a good thing. So then maybe, okay, you can, where is the notes? Oh, okay, so you can start typing here, like, okay, so bowl, green smoothie. Maybe I want to write notes to myself. Tag shoes, you know, whatever, okay? Like I'm writing notes to myself. Or maybe I want to be like, you know, I always wanted to stay home with my dog and baby, okay? Like maybe that's how I'm going to start. But I'm like not ready to post that yet, right? So you can save it. Actually, you can put this in your notes. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job right now. So discard post, discard, but like over here, you can add notes, okay? So like maybe I think of something while I'm in the shower. If I don't put it in my thing, you write it there. But the coolest part about this is that, okay, I'm gonna pull this here, and then you can edit it to Instagram specifications, okay? And then save. So it does take like a little bit of time, but like it's so worth it. Okay, and then this is me and my sister. Maybe I'm post about how quarantine and I miss her. That's why I dragged this over here anyway. Okay, so then I'm just gonna show you really quickly. Okay, and then maybe me and my horse. Okay, entertainment, right? So then you go to preview up here and you can see how the photos look. So then I'm like, I don't really like these 2 photos together. Maybe I'll switch to my horse first and then these 2 photos next to each other. Or like, I'll come over here and like, whatever, like drag and drop the selfie because I need a selfie in here, put that there. Okay, like the way that looks, right? So you can kind of play with it. So that's what I love about later. And then you can this is also a great way to do the spaces between your photos as well. So I know that was a lot, but does anybody have any questions? I guess I can check the chat as well. Okay, let's see.
So you can schedule your post right from there as well, correct? That's what you can do that. It's not, okay, cool.
Yeah. So like literally you guys, like I have obviously TF call Monday nights, right? Like I have a post that goes at 5, but like I'm on call, like, or like I'm about to get on the call. So like I'm not like frantically trying to post at 5 o'clock. Like it goes, like it pushes to your phone. It automatically populates on Instagram. And then I go to my Instagram, then I can respond to all the comments. But also, do you guys do Facebook Creator Studio? Oh my gosh, okay. Well, let me show you something really quick. This is off topic, but I mean, kind of, not really. Okay, so if you guys have a business page, which you should, because that way you can have a business, you can see all your stats on Instagram. You can download this thing called business.facebook.com/creator studio. Okay. So it's really cool. So I don't know why it makes you click Facebook and not Instagram to see your inbox, but it does. So over here, this is where I spend a lot of my time. So these are all my Instagram messages, okay? So you guys, I don't respond to an Instagram message on my phone unless I'm initiating a first conversation. Because like, literally, who has time for that, okay? So like, these are conversations I've had today. Like this girl's she's like confused about the boot camp tomorrow. I'm like, okay, like I texted you. You know what I mean? So like, I don't enjoy responding to all of these messages on my phone because like carpal tunnel, hello, right? So I just do it on my computer. So you cannot start a message from here, but you can respond to a message. So like, but let me show you the beauty of this, okay? So, okay, I organize everything by labels. So like I'm starting bar, obviously pregnant, on the 29th. So I created a label when bar launched in January that was bar. So all of these people were interested in bar, okay? Because I labeled them like a little freak a leak, okay? So when you go over here on the side, this girl, Kareen, she's actually starting tomorrow, 21 Day Fix. So I type 21 and I have a 21 Day Fix label, okay? So like now, so I have all these bar people. So literally like you can see June, like I literally went back to all these people and just reached out to them because I'm restarting bar. And then you can search. So then I can search like 21 Day Fix, okay? And then these are all the people that have been interested in 21 Day Fix. And you can scroll, 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 scroll. So when I'm talking about following up with people, you guys, like I get almost all my business from follow-ups, okay? But do you know what that means? You got to go reach out to them first. So the people that join me are people, like literally the people that are joining me this weekend. Like I had 3 coaches sign this weekend, I think. All from like January, last November. Okay, these are not people that I talked to yesterday, right? So like that's something that's, so it's like obviously off topic of what we're talking about, but like this gets me fired up because my team's like, I did 10 invites and no one wanted to join. I'm like, okay, so like those are people for 6 months from now. Like that's not for right now. Like, hello, like this is not a quick business. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a long-term business solution. And this is literally a startup, okay? Like my parents started an insurance and they're like joking with me, like you're doing what we did, right? So they would cold call like 100 people a day, right? And then like, however, they were like, so they had spreadsheets, and then that person, their insurance didn't renew until December, okay? So then they wrote December down. December came around, they called them on December 1st. Hey, we know your insurance is expiring on December 29th or whatever, 31st, whatever, right? The point is, this is a follow-up business, especially for me. So all these people are follow-up people. And I spend a lot of time going out on Instagram and engaging with people so they show up on my feed. But they're not going to stick around if there's not content there. They're not going to stick around if there aren't stories there all day, okay? And I get it because before January 1st, I worked full-time, had a 40-minute commute, had a husband, have horses, have dog, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I get it, right? Like, I get that we all have a lot of stuff going on, but that doesn't mean that I didn't take a bunch of photos during the day of like random things and share it later, okay? Like you make it work. Like this business is so incredible. Like I am so fired up because of how successful I have been and where I know I'm going in this business. And that is like fire. It's fuel. Like I am like up in the morning, like ready to go because I am so excited because I don't know who I'm going to help today. I don't know who's going to be ready. And like that is the energy that this business brings. And it's like, I literally like got to quit my job like January 1st, you know, and I've been doing this 2 years. So anyway, it's just insane. I'm obsessed. I'm gonna stop sharing and maybe answer some questions. Thank you guys for listening. Anybody have any questions about anything?
Yeah, you guys, don't be shy. Ask her.
I'm basically an open book if you can't tell.
So I just wanted to tell you that I've had like this little Instagram, Facebook crush because I'm like who is
Oh,
this girl? Because I've been looking at your pictures for probably the last year, and I see you pop up on Facebook, like, do you know Lauren? And I'm like, not really yet, but we will. And I'm a professional photographer, so like looking at your pictures, like they're beautiful, and they
Thank
always
you.
catch my eye. So I'm like, wow, so when Sarah said you were doing the talk tonight, I was like,
Oh, how
very.
fun. Oh, that's awesome.
But
Well,
the creator studio, whatever, I've
yes.
never even heard of that.
Oh
Like
my God.
my
Life
mind
changing.
is blown, and it's gonna change everything.
Oh, it changed everything. Yeah. Because and you can also search like the stars. Like, you know how you can like flag a person? You can search the flag. You can search unread messages. I have a one for just nutrition, like it's incredible. Really, really awesome. Anybody have any questions?
I have a question, and not that numbers matter for the amount of followers, but I
Oh
am
my God.
curious
Yeah.
as to what really drove your following and like when you saw it really start to like pick up and just like take off for you and like your brand and business and everything.
Okay. That I'm so glad you asked that because for me and my business and my brand, well, I don't have a following like you, so I don't want to join you because I can't be successful because I don't have a following. That's a bunch of BS. Okay. One of my diamond coaches, she started with 300 followers. Okay. When Nicole, my coach, invited me to join, she had 300 or 500 followers, right? So, like, that's a bunch of BS. Okay. And I started with 0 followers in 2014. Yes, it was like a long time ago, but and look at my numbers, you guys. Like, Instagram changes all the time. Like, you cannot control what Instagram does. Okay. That's why I always like to collect email addresses, but you cannot control what Instagram does. I used to get 2,000 likes on a photo for fashion stuff, like back in the day. Okay. But guess what? Now I'm like, ooh, 190. Yeah, baby. Like, let's go. Because I had to rebrand, right? And like those people didn't necessarily follow me, but like they're not going to unfollow me, but they're not like there with me, right? So like sometimes I wish when I started coaching that I just like restarted, you know, totally from scratch because I wanted to like attract those types of people. But yeah, the numbers as crazy as like they might look means nothing. It does not matter because what matters is that you show up every day. You are a product of the product, right? You're literally talking about it every day. You're taking photos, even if they're outside in your backyard with your, ring light. It doesn't matter. Like you just have to have the content there for people to see and also be relatable. Like that is the biggest thing for me is sharing what I eat every day, like sharing my struggles, sharing what's real, because that's what other people, can relate to. Like, anyway, and that's why I think stories are so incredibly important. But my philosophy and how I grow my business now is I literally will go out into the world on Instagram and find like a boutique or a blogger or someone that I really resonate with, you guys. Like, not like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, I'll just follow her, like her. Like, no, no, no. Like, I really try to find my people. Okay. So, like, I have a couple bloggers I really enjoy following, and I genuinely enjoy following them so that I go to the first photo that they've most recently posted and I go to those likes. And those likes, I click on that and it's like 3,000 likes. Perfect. So I start there. Okay. And then I start going through those people and I start looking for my people. Right. And I don't really ever send like a cold market message to somebody that doesn't have an open profile. I used to do that, had some success, have way more success when you connect with somebody, right? So then what I do is I go on their thing and I show them lots of love. So lots of likes, lots of comments, but I do not follow them because you guys, like I don't want to go follow 3,000 people this week. Like that sounds horrible because then you show up on your feed and it's not even your feed. Like I don't follow anybody unless I'm like, okay, I actually love you. Like you're amazing to follow, like unless it's actually somebody I would enjoy like outside of anything. But no, I don't follow anybody. So I just go on and I give them love. Right. And then they show up on my feed the next day. It's like clockwork. Okay, if not that afternoon. So I start every single morning when I start working, I respond to all my messages. Okay, so I go through all the messages that are there first because those people have priority. Second thing I do is go to my stories. I go to my stories and I see who is new on my stories, and it takes time, right? Because like I do have a lot of views on my stories, but it takes time. And I go and I see who's new. And every day I see who's new, and I send them a message to say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for watching my stories. I saw your name pop up. I didn't recognize you, and I just wanted to say hi. And thank you for watching my stories. Okay. No one's going to be like, oh, that's ridiculous. I can't believe you messaged me back. Like, I'm literally saying hi. They came to me. Even though I went to them first yesterday from the Dallas Fort Worth blog that I like to follow, or like little boutique, because like I'm obsessed with Texas. Like, I didn't go to them and I wasn't like, I'm a beach body coach. Would you like to join my boot camp? Like, they don't know who that is. Like, it's like so like cold, right? So like I go out, give them love, and they show up like clockwork because I have stuff that I'm sharing every day, right? So it's like there's new content. So anyway, so then I send them a message and they're like, oh my gosh, of course, like no problem. And then depending on the conversation, I'll invite them then if it's like working, like if it's flowing. If not, I'll revisit them in a couple days. But I also utilize the you guys know about the what's it called, the labels, the tags on your stories, the folders within Instagram. This is there was an actual wake-up call a couple weeks ago about this. Okay, so, and stop me if I'm being redundant. Okay, so like I'm gonna go to, okay, it doesn't really matter who I go to. Okay, this girl, trying to recruit her for the last freaking year. Okay, so I go to her. So I like follow her. She's actually a customer now, but I'm trying to get her to coach. Anyway, long story short. So she, what if I saw her for the first time? I didn't know her, right? So then I would go to her profile, like give her some love. And then down here, I click that little button and then I say save to collections. Oops. Save to collections. And right now I'm still growing my May collection. So May Peeps, add her to May Peeps. Okay. So then I go back to my home profile, go up to the 3 lines at the top, go to saved, go to May Peeps. I don't even use that word. I don't know why I picked that. And these are all the people that I want to make sure I go back to. And you guys might already know this might be redundant, but like right now I'm looking at a lot of pregnant moms because I'm like, all these women might relate to me. They might come to my feed and feel like they have something in common. I also look at a lot of hashtag cowboy wives, right? Because like that's me, right? I also am obsessed with my dog. And so I look at a lot of Queensland Healer dog photos and like try to find the girls who are posting about their Queensland Healers, right? So like when I'm talking about building a brand, it's like all encompassing. Okay. So like, I'm not just trying to I'm not desperate for people, right? Like I want to build people that actually we have something in common. Like we can talk about something. So anyway, so then I use these folders and then I'll go back to this person. Okay. So she has 3,000 followers. Oh, okay. And so like 6 days ago, I have already liked her photo. This is her most recent photo. I've already liked it. But like she has stories, right? So like literally tonight I'll go to her stories, look through her stories. Okay, she only has like 5. And then, oh my God, little baby with her dad in the pool. Holy crap. So cute. This is adorable. Need that swimsuit for my daughter, right? Never have I ever talked to her except for commenting and liking. I haven't invited her, right? I'm just creating a relationship. Send. Okay. Right? Like that's what this is about. It's building that relationship and that content. And yeah, you can say, well, I don't have time. Okay, take one of your inviting days, like on Monday or Tuesday, and make these connections, because if you don't make the connections, you have no one to invite. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop on my conversation. I'm like going long, but
that's super helpful. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome.
You're welcome. And anyone, feel free to ask me anything, anytime. I'm always here for you guys.
Sorry, I was writing. Yes, thank you so much. I feel like I have taken so many things away that I'm going to start implementing ASAP. So yeah, my mind was blown a few times. I was like, how did I not know about this? I should know about this.
No, it's a do and then learn business, you guys. Like, there are no secrets. We are a team, you know, like this is all about sharing and learning together. So anyway, Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, no, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, this was amazing. So appreciated. And I can only speak for myself, but like I am fired up to like get up Monday and start doing some of this stuff. And yeah, okay. If no one has any other questions, I'm going to wrap this up. I will have the recording tomorrow. And thank you again, Lauren, so, so much. And hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Bye.